Hello. Good day, ma'am and sir. My name is Datu C. Nepomuceno, and today we will be tackling all about forms and types of creative nonfiction. Specifically, we're going to be talking about personal essays. So, before anything else, at the end of this lesson, you must be able to identify the types of personal essays that we're going to be discussing, and you must be able to confidently express your ideas through writing, discussions, and fostering creativity and collaboration through writing personal essays. And lastly, you must perform your own mini lyric essay oration, which we will be discussing later on. So, we're going to be starting with the question, what is a personal essay? So personal essay, this is pretty much what a person would write when they want to write something about a personal experience, about something, maybe a change of time. So it is often written in a conversational tone, which can cover a lot of topics if you actually think about it. It could be from life-changing moments, it could be from your observation, it could be something that your teacher told you to write about. So this consists of pretty much a lot of types like formal essays and the likes. So these things are very subjective, often include in storytelling elements like anecdotes, expressing emotions, and a person's personal insights. So to start with, keep in mind that there is around 7 types of these things. So to start with, we have the narrative essay. So for the narrative essay, this basically lets the person talk about something, describing something. For example, a life, the writer's life, an event, a phenomenon, and the likes, or maybe a specific event. So like any other essays, this has a beginning, middle, and end, which is the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. So for example, you're writing an essay about the time you got lost in the city. Then you are narrating the events that happened that led to that moment. Next up, we have reflective personal essay. So from the word itself, reflect. So pretty much the same as a reflection paper. So this focuses on more on thoughts and personal growth of a person or the writer himself. So in introspective, this explores a more deep level of understanding, or it tackles upon a lesson that you've learned. This also doesn't really follow a chronological order like any other essays. Like for example, the previous that we talk about, which is the narrative personal essay. This consists of a introduction, body, and conclusion. While reflective essay, it doesn't really require the proper format. The next one, we have descriptive personal essay. So for descriptive personal essay, this mostly relies on the description of a certain thing or a certain event, often focusing on what it looks like, how it smells like, what does it feel like, and how does it taste. Now, for example, we have maybe explaining the time, the house that you grew up in, and the memories that it holds. So, of course, you would be focusing on how you grew up, what are the details about it, which mostly covers on the sensory details that we have. So, this often paints a meaningful picture that focuses on that's a specific moment or a certain setting, or maybe a particular thing. Next, we have persuasive personal essay. So, from the word persuasive, you're trying to get someone's attention, you're trying to get someone's side on your side. Often, it is more on sociocultural and political topics. So, this uses the freedom of expression by making means of supporting an opinion or an argument. So, when it is merged with personal essay, this blends storytelling with logic and reasoning. For example, we have this thought of why we stop using social media and why people should too, or something that is very controversial. Moving on to the confessional personal essay. So for this one, this is pretty much like writing a diary. So because this composes of giving your very personal emotions, and this could be very personal for the writer. So this often reveals a secret or struggle or a certain personal growth. So when a writer writes this could be showing their vulnerable side and could be aiming to connect with readers on a more deeper level. So for example, maybe the hardest conversation ever had with my parents, or writing a personal essay about someone I like. Yan. Next on the list, we have humorous personal essay. So for this one, of course, from the word humorous, it's supposed to be funny. It is using more on the humor side. So this one is a little more light and should be self-deprecating. This also focuses on mostly awkward experiences. It could be going towards making someone laugh. For example, for example, my most embarrassing moment time in high school, or the time that I peed my pants in a public area. Ganun. So the last one here, we have lyric personal essay. So this one is very much more poetic than the other personal essays that we discussed, and it is also more, less structured than most personal essays. Since personal essays, it follows a three-part paragraph, which is the introduction, body, and conclusion. This one, it does have a pattern at some point. It also strikes more on emotions than telling a clear story. For example, you're making a lyric personal essay about the sound of the rain and the memories it brings, perhaps. So all in all, we have, of course, the first one, the narrative personal essay, the reflective personal essay, descriptive personal essay, argumentative or persuasive personal essay, and confessional personal essay. Next, we have the humorous personal essay, and of course, the lyric personal essay. And that pretty much sums up everything that we've discussed. And thank you for listening.